Hi, it's Ian. Welcome back to 30 Days of Knife Skills. Thank you very much to everyone who has donated so far, and I'm also still taking requests for future videos, so let me know if you have something in mind that you'd like to see me cover here. Today is day 11, and we are working with lemons and limes. So the first thing I think about with lemons and limes is going to be the zest or the peel, especially lemon peel, lemon zest. If I had to choose between using lemon juice or lemon zest, I would probably always choose the zest because it's so aromatic and it adds so much to so many different things. So before we even cut it, this is one instance where I'm going to be using a stainless steel knife instead of a carbon steel. That will just make sure that I don't have to worry that much about the acidity in this kind of fruit. So here I have a petty stainless steel knife, and I have some other things that I might be using for this kind of citrus fruit. So maybe the first thing, the most common way I would use lemon zest, it's either going to be using a grater or using a peeler. So let me demonstrate. I'll just do one peel like this. So this is one case where I would use a vegetable peeler. You can also use a knife. But I'll use a vegetable peeler to get a peel like that. I might stack it up. Go into very fine julienne like that. And that would be great for salads. It always goes into my Napa cabbage quick salted pickle. It always goes in like that. It's good finishing some kind of a dish that's just done cooking and you want to sprinkle it in. It could be a pasta or some kind of a stir fry. It's really, it adds so much to anything, so you really can't go wrong with doing something like that. Another way that I will use lemon zest if I wanted a little bit finer texture, maybe I want it to blend into a sauce more, is going to be using this microplane very simple grater. So it's a fine grater. And usually people are doing this to do it, but I prefer doing it what you might consider backwards. So holding the lemon this way and then holding this upside down. And this way I can see exactly where and how much I'm taking off. So if you do it the other way, the traditional way, you can never tell what's going on and you're kind of guessing. But this way, I can also rotate the lemon as well as pull, and I can just choose to go deeper or shallower. So you can see here the peeler went deeper and it's white, so I can choose to go that far, or I can choose to completely avoid the white bitter pith by doing it this way. And I like how I can just control and see exactly what I'm doing like that. So this is a great way, and then I'll just scrape it off into whatever I'm using. It's a great way to use that grater. Otherwise, that's pretty much it for using the peel. If I'm making a cocktail, for example, then I would maybe keep it intact. If I was feeling extra fancy, then maybe I would cut it into a certain shape. So after taking off with the peeler, maybe if I was feeling fancy, do some kind of a shape like this. And then use it as a decorative. I mean, it could be for any dish or whatever you want to do. So, and then this leftover I would chop up and use for something else as well. So besides using it for the peel or the zest, another common way is to juice it. So my normal go-to way is to just juice it with this, and it just really gets more of the juice out. And because I won't be able to catch the seeds doing it that way, usually I will use a strainer. So I'll just cut it in half and then just use the reamer. So this one is by Oxo. It's pretty good. These are nice and sharp, so it works quite well. I had one before this that I had for many years, and I used it so much that the end became dull, and I realized that I needed to get a new one. So this is a fairly new one. So this is does the job. It's very, very good. The other one for juicing is this juicer. And the way you load this is to go not this way, but this way. Like that. And then you just press down on it. And it catches the seeds because it just has these slots. And the juice comes straight out. So in that case, you could do this straight into whatever you're cooking or into whatever container you have, is one way. I just recently heard that one advantage of using this is the fact that this round part presses against the oils of the skin and will actually release some of the oils, which the regular reamer doesn't really do that. You're just holding it with your hand. So what happens when you juice with this is that this metal rounded part will push against the peel and express those oils, which should make the juice more aromatic. Not sure, I haven't done a side-by-side, but it sounds probable. Using this, you'll get almost as much juice as using this. This one gets completely the whole thing out. The least amount of juice would be just squeezing it with your hand. Some people just squeeze and then try to get the seeds like that with catching it in your hand and then let the juice go through the fingers. I usually don't do that because it doesn't, unless I'm in a hurry and I just need a little bit of juice. Otherwise, it's quite inefficient. So another way that's very common for lemons, of course, is a wedge like this. So you might have this for just having it on a plate, or you could put it on your cocktail. If you're going to use it as a cocktail garnish on your glass, then you would want to put a slit here, cut a slit in there so that it would sit on your glass like that neatly. Or you could just put it inside. Another common sort of decorative way would be to use whole wheels or whole slices. So this one, you could, of course, decorate your plate and garnish with it. Another thing that some people might do is to put this on top of whatever foods you're roasting or below whatever foods you're roasting. And it will give a bed or a cover of lemon flavor and some acidity. So that's another very common way. Of course, we could do halves. So we could cut it in half and then do the same kind of thing. Same thing. It's a little easier to work with if you cut your lemon in half and then make these kinds of half wheels. So same thing, you could put it together and decorate, or put it in your drink, or in ice water or iced tea if that's something that you do. Sometimes there is another cut that I don't usually use that much, but you might see it more as a something that you would see in a restaurant or comes with your fish and chips or something like that, is to go this way. Or maybe your taco stand. So obviously it looks very different, and it's just a different method of using it. It's very common, of course, to take the ends off if you're doing this kind of thing. It looks nicer. There's a spot that you can grab, and it works much better. So that's another common way to do wedges, whether it's lime or lemon. I think that's pretty much how I use these citruses. Definitely the peel or the zest is the most common way I use it. And then the next most common is the juice with either this or this. If I'm processing more than a little bit, then I might use that. Works really well. So I've also seen some people talk about doing supremes, which is that technique where I would do it on an orange, but you peel the whole thing and you take out just the segments and leave all the pith and the membranes behind. I've never had a use for that with lemons and lime because it's quite tart. And it's not something that I feel like eating a whole bunch of, as opposed to doing it for maybe grapefruit or especially oranges. That might be good in a salad or something like that. So I don't usually use the supreming technique for this kind of a sour citrus. So anyway, that's it for lemons and limes. Let me know if you have any questions, and we'll see you on the next one.